Okay, hi everybody. Good evening. Good evening, Aziz. Good evening, Miracle Okichuku, and good evening, Ifeanyi. That's Felix. So we will start. Probably people will join us, and the class is being recorded, so it will also be uploaded this evening for you guys. So in case you miss it, then you can be able to join in. So what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be replicating. I don't know if everybody could hear me clearly. If you can hear me, you could use the chat box there, or you could also send me, or you could also mute your mic and respond. Any of those ones work. So if you are hearing me, please, you could signify. Yeah, okay, good. So as he says he can hear me. Yeah, on Miracle also there. Good. So let's go straight into. We're going to be replicating a design. I will share my screen, and then from there we will proceed. Okay. So if you can see my screen, please. That's very good. Good. Okay. So I think everybody can see my screen now. Yeah. Okay. So let's go straight into what we are here to do today. So this is what I have. This design has been done, and I've uploaded it on Pinterest. So if you want, you could also check it out. But I also share, as I shared it on the group chat, you could also check it and see what I did there. So I'll be replicating this design, all the effects, the background, the technique I used for it. I'll try and see if I can cover this within the space of an hour. It shouldn't take more than an hour because I think the whole process took me about 20 minutes to come about this. So I'm going to explain it to the best of my capacity, or to the best of best of my capacity, so that you can be able to understand my thought process and how I came about this stuff. So I used two fonts here, two main fonts mainly, and the rest are just design mockups. I made design mockups myself, or you could also download just plain t-shirts, and from there you can also work with those ones too.
I don't use anything. I don't use as that boy or as Mame.
Okay, so you can unmute your mic, and also you could just hide your screen too. So good. So let's go straight into it. The first thing first we usually do. Bless me. Sorry for that. Apologies. So the first thing first we're going to do is to establish a background. What I usually do most times is that I use my tool, my rectangle tool, which is found at the toolbar here. Please let me, yes, my rectangle tool that is found at the toolbar here. I use it to, so my rectangle tool, I draw a base background for it. Apologies, let me admit this person. Okay, so I draw a base background for it. This is the base background. Let me go over that again, please. I draw a base background for it, and I have color palettes. Let me bring my color palette, and so that we'll be able to work with it much better. So these are my color palettes, and group that. And let me just stick everything there. Don't worry about all this. I will share with you the file so you can be able to work with it. In case you want to replicate, then you can be able to see everything, all the assets. Everything will be inside the file. So not to worry about that one. So good. As I said, I have my color palette already established here. Now the technique I used here was they did like some like a streamline kind of effect. That's what I did for each of it. So I'm going to use an illustration here. I'll use my pencil tool, which is here. This is what I did. Is so this is my Canva. Let me give that a bump. So what I did here is that I introduced lines that cut across the shape we already drew there. So this shape we drew here, I just had lines cutting across it. Then I had different colors for each of the cuts that was being established. So that's what I did there, and that's what I'm about to show you guys. So let me choose my base color. So I'll make this as my base color. If you want, you could also make this or this, because we use 3 colors, and these are already 3 colors that we use in this design for the background there. So now we have this already established. We pick our pencil tool, then we draw over it. Do not mind how the drawing is. Just ensure that once you double click into this place here, you increase the fidelity to smooth. So if you are drawing, it doesn't look too rough, because if I use accurate in this case, by default yours should be set to accurate. If I use accurate, it's not going to be smooth. You could see there are a lot of bumps on the way. But if I set it to smooth, by double click there and you set it to smooth, you draw, you could see there are only just 1, 2, 3, 4 points in this case. So ensure that it's set to smooth, then you draw just freely. It doesn't need to be that accurate. The reason why it's not showing is because of the stroke is set to 0. Okay, sorry for that. It's because of the stroke is set to 0. So you can continue drawing. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just ensure that one of them doesn't touch the other one, because they are going to merge, and you might have issues with breaking it out. So let's select everything now. So you could see the lines here. If I want them to be visible, I could increase the stroke. This is where the stroke is, under the properties panel. In case you can't see it, you go to Windows and you scroll down to properties over here. So in case your setup is not looking like this, what you can do is that you can go to Windows, you could scroll up, ensure it's up, you go to workspace and you choose Essentials Classic. That's what I'm using, and that's what is here by default. So you can also choose that one. So ensure you highlight everything. So you click and you drag and everything will be highlighted. So what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be using the tool called the Shape Builder tool. But before that, we have to have our colors. These are our colors here. We need to have them in our fill here. So it needs to be added to the swatch panel. So the swatch panel is, let me show you what the swatch panel is. So the swatch panel is where all the colors, these are colors by default that are on the swatches. So what we want to do is we want to add these colors into the swatches so that we can be able to easily pick them out when we are applying colors on this Canva. So what we do is we just click on this group here, because we are selecting more than one. If you are selecting only one, let me highlight only one first. You come here, you see this plus here. This is where you add the plus, and it adds to this part here. So if I add, automatically it's added here. But I want to add them like a group of colors. So what I do, I click on the swatch and I click on this guy here, which is new group. If I want, I could just see practice group, P, and I say okay. So automatically they are added under here in the swatch. So why I need to do that is just in case I am applying those colors. It will be very easy for me to just come here and pick the colors I want to add. Good. So this is what we are going to do now. Let me ensure this is in well. So good. What we want to do now is to highlight everything, and you will see where they are cut, like the cuts, but yet they are not yet cut. So if you drag, it drags as a shape. So what we want to do, that I want them to be individually. I want them to be individual, like the colors should be individual into that. So what we do, we go to the Shape Builder tool here. The Shape Builder tool by default is there if you're using the Essentials Classic. We click on the Shape Builder, and what we want is, we want to change this color first to this one. So we have this, and you see that this color is applied only to this part. So what you should be able to do is in every intersection or where an object is overlapping on another object, or an element is overlapping on another element, it will create a portion of it, like a set. You understand? A portion, like if you did set theory, it creates a portion like a set of it, so you could be able to color that section. So I will explain with a circle after I'm done with this, so that we can sorry, I'm trying to okay, let me admit somebody, please. Okay, good. So it will create a section, like this is section. So the intersection between this and this whole shape, this is where it is. So now the next intersection is this one with the whole shape there. So I could choose a different color here, probably a brighter one, and I just click on that part. So it has a different color. And I also do for this one too. So I also do for this one too, but let's choose a different color for that. And choose that case, and we can continue just changing the colors to have what we want there.
Bonnie.
Okay, please, when you join the call, please mute your mic. Thank you. So this is what we have currently. We have this mixture here, and that's what we did to apply everything here. Sorry, please, for the short break, for the breaks. I'm trying to admit people to the meeting. Good. So good. We have now established this background here already in this case. So what I did is that I added a shape on top of this one. So what we will do is we'll come to our rectangle tool here, and we'll drag on top and create a square. If you want it to be a square, you hold on the Alt and it becomes a perfect square. So if you see the color choice we used here, it's not this one, so we can use this color here. We go to the swatches and you choose that color. Now we applied an effect that made this look like a roughen. It made it look roughen, you understand? So it's an effect called roughen effect. You could apply it and it makes it look roughen, have roughen edges. So what you do, you go to effect, you go to distort and transform, you go to roughen, and you could see that effect already been applied. So what we do, we can reduce the effect, the intensity of the effect, and also reduce the details of the effect. So we'll have like that, and we say okay. So we say okay. Now, if you look very closely at the effect, you could see like there's an extrusion here behind it. So we can also add that. That is a short technique. Don't worry, if you're not catching up, you could go along with the recordings and probably you catch up very well with it. It will also be made available for everybody that is on the platform. Yes, the class has been recorded. Please, I hope everybody can hear me, so we do not have issues with that. So in case you're having network issues, we can also, I'll also post the stuff on the group. So yes, that's the video on the group this evening. Immediately after it, I'll do the exporting and send it to you guys. So as I was saying, we just make an extrusion. So what we do is that we go back to that effect, we'll go back to distort, ensure it's been highlighted, then we'll go to transform. Now is that for the move here, we are going to apply a move that's by 1 pixel by 1 pixel. Now nothing happened here, but when we come to make copies of that move, we could say we want 10 copies of that move that we made here. If we wanted to scale and make it bigger, we could make 10 copies of that size. So the way it's scaling 10 times of that size in 10 copies. So that's what the move actually, or the move effect actually does. So you could see there's an extrusion here, but one thing is that the color that is being applied is the same color. So what you need to do is that you need to come to something they call the appearance panel. This is the appearance panel. In case you can't find it, you go to Windows and you go to appearance. That's where you see it. Now, this is the fill here. We need to apply, we need to create a different layer under of it. If you want to create a layer on top of it, everything you do, the extrusion will be on top of it. So it has to be under. So in this case, we are going to click on the plus sign here, and it's going to be added under here. So we change the color to the one that we want to use. I think the color we used there was this one here. That's under of it. So we're going to use that color. So we can do the same thing. We can do the same thing by coming to effects here. So there's an effect there also, but ensure that this is highlighted. You click on the effect, you go to distort and transform, you go to transform, and you say here by one, here by one, and we create about 10 copies. So now it's extruding towards the side. What you can do is you can move it vertically or you can move it horizontally to see where it's going. So you see it's moving towards the side, so that's -1 here. But the copies is too much, so we can make it 5, so it doesn't come out too well, too much. Make it 5 or 3, I think. 3 copies, and you see it's small here. So the effect is not that much, it's just subtle. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding our text. Now, what the effect I did here, or the technique I used here, is to slice a letter in our effect. So what we do is that we come to our text tool and write new. Let's make it bigger, probably let's say 200. I think 200 is then we change our color that's in the swatch here to white. We can make it bigger. You can bring it there. Scale it down. So this is the text. For you to be able to do that effect that is a slice, you need to convert it from a text to a shape. And to convert it to a shape, you need to convert the text to an outline. It's called an outline, or you could probably expand it. But once you right click on your text, you come to create outline here. I don't know if everybody could see these stuffs. I don't know if everybody could. I'm coming, please. Let me just make my screen the whole total view so that you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. And I think it might not be showing some part. Preset something else. Entire screen and share. Good. So let's proceed. So what I will do is that I'll right click and I'll create an outline. So now it's a shape and not just a text, or it's not the text anymore. It's not. So what I did there was I drew a line, right? Before I drew a line, I double clicked. So anytime you double click into it, it isolates that particular object. So this is a single object. I can ungroup it and it will become individual letters. Like now, if I double click, it isolates that object and makes me to work on them individually. So you could see I could work on the W individually, on the E individually. So what I did here was that I duplicated this down here, but for this case, you duplicate it up and you keep it up, because if you check here, you can see it's the top. So this bottom part is the top here. So what I did is that I duplicated it like this, and I have another duplicate, like I have 2 of them placed here. And what I just need to do here is I draw a line like this, and I select the 2 of them. I'll also duplicate this line to this part. So I need to know where this is placed. So I could increase the stroke and maybe take it up. Let me see here. And also for this one too, I take it up like here. I could increase the stroke. So what I do is I'll ensure I select the 2 of them. Like this, with the lines. Now, I'll be using the shape builder tool. Now, what the shape builder tool can also do is that it can cut a particular part of an effect. Like in this case now, I want to trim off this part and also trim off this part. Now, so this part will be continued from this part. So what I need is that I need this part to be to still be remain while this top part will go, and this down part will go while this top part will remain. Then I can adjust them. So this is what I'll do here is I'll hold on the Alt key, hold on your Alt. That's if you're using the Windows, you hold on your Alt. I think on Mac is Options. Hold on your Alt. So I clean this part, and I come here and I clean this part. So that's how you can do it. Then you can bring it down like so, and like so. So that was how I did that. So that's how you can also do it too. Now notice they are also grouped, they are still grouped because I isolated them and I worked inside of them. They don't need to be ungrouped, or they will not be ungrouped. So that's what I did. So that's the technique that was done here. So what other technique that is looking tricky? I think none of them, but let's just continue. So these are text that I placed there moving in a straight line. What I did is, let me copy just the content, not the whole entire stuff. Is that I have this text. And what I usually do most times is that I copy the entire thing, then I add a dash. So let me zoom in so you see what I mean. I copy the entire thing, so I add a dash at the end with a space bar. I copy it, then I move to the end of it, then I paste it so it continues, and I also do another paste so it continues out. You understand? Something like that. So then I can bring it down here and come to this edge and tilt it. I can zoom in. You could also do more, then increase the size. But as you increase the size, you can also change the make it look like it's out of focus. So how to do that is you need to apply a blur effect to it. You can come here to effects, or you could also go back up there. There are different ways to go to effects. Then you go to blur, or you go to Gaussian blur, and you can begin to adjust the Gaussian blur. So it's too high, or it's too harsh. We go for 10. I think 10 will be very okay, and something like that. Now we already have our components here, our images. You can just bring the images and you place them, not definitely on top or not on top, but just place them by the side, and then you can bring this one on top. How do you do that? You could right click on them and you go to arrange and you say bring to the front. This is the shortcut for it. Shift Control, close curly bracket. Curly bracket is close to P. Open curly bracket is close to P, while after that there's close curly bracket. So when you click on that, it brings it to the top. So that's the shortcut for it too. So what do we do here? What did we do here? Now for this one, I think where the other effects are, is just this guy here, which is the same thing as this one here. Then we have this spiral that has been done here. So I'm going to show you how I did this, even though I have it here. I'm not just going to drag it and put it there. I'm going to show you how I did it. Now I'll be using the same content that I used in this case to create that effect. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to use the same one to create that effect. So let's create this one first. This one is just applying blur. So let's create this one first. So I'm going to have a circle or an ellipse. I'll draw a circle here. I'll remove the fill. Then I add a stroke so that I can be able to see what I'm doing. I zoom into it, make the stroke white. So what we are going to do is that we are going to have text run through this whole circle. So it's going to run from anywhere we click on it to the end of it, so it completes the circle. So I'll go to my text tool here, ensure that I've copied my text already. I've copied, so I could select that, copy, and come here and come to where I want to place the text. So before I do that, I go to my text to right click on it. It will show me options of different text tools that I can use. So now this is what they call type on a part tool. We are going to select that so that we can type on this part of the circle. So we are going to do that and click here. Anywhere you click, it's going to type. It's going to follow that part to get to the end of it. So what I want to, I'll just paste my text that I've copied there and it goes to where it stops, then I can Control A to highlight everything, Control C to copy it, and Control V to paste it again. If I want, I could increase the size. There's a shortcut for that, but you could use it to increase the size of the text that you just pasted. So we have this, like this, but that's not the effect yet. We can duplicate this. So how do we duplicate? There are different ways. You could hold on Alt, click and drag. That's to duplicate. But I want it to be placed on top so that I scale it proportionally. What I do there is I can go to Edit, Copy, guys, Control C, Edit, Paste in front, which is Control F. So when I click on Control F, it's now placed on top. So I hold this one. So I hold on Shift. Ensure you're holding on Shift while you click and drag so it scales it proportionally. Then if you hold on Alt, it will scale it from the middle. So it doesn't move from anywhere like that. So that's scaled from the middle. So now we have we have the same text, but two different sizes of it. But before you apply the effects to it, you need to convert this text to an object or to an object. So what do? What we did last time is that we right click on it and we go to create outline. Also do the same thing, right click on it and create outline. You select the two of them and there's an effect called the blend effect. How you can access it is that you go to object, you go to blend, and you go to make blend. Now, by default, it will choose about one effect, just one of the blends. That's going to add just only one of the blends, but you can make it more. So in this case, what we did here is that we made it like 3 or 4 of the effects that was being applied. So what do we do here? We come to the tool panel and you see the blend tool here. You double click on it, you change this to specified steps, and you can increase the number of effects that will be applied on it. So if you checked here, you could see that there's a spiral, like it's turning and it's not just going straight, unlike the one we have here that's just like straight. So what you do that you double click on the effect you have applied, so it isolates it like I said before. Then you could choose either this or this and you can rotate it. So you see how the effect is being applied now. So that's how I apply the effect. Or you can just have put 1 like I did, or 1% instead. 1% there. Let's turn that white. Put 1% and just place it there. So, or just 1%, or something like that. So you can just place it there. Then you group them together. And that's how you have your effect. And you can move it anywhere you want to. You could scale it to whatever size that you want them to be, or you want it to be. So in this case, we had it here, and we tilted it, and we applied, we took it down there, we applied a blend on it. So you go to your opacity, and you change the blending mode to soft light in order to have that effect here. If you want, you could also apply blur to it. So go to blur, Gaussian blur, and you have like something like that. So this one here, it will also be made available to you guys. You'll be able to use it. I made a duplicate of it. Remember, you hold on Alt to make a duplicate of it. So I scale it up, and I go to the effect. I go to blur, and I go to Gaussian blur, and I bumped it up and to 20. The same thing here. I also did the same. You could send it to the back of the shirt. Remember to send it to the back in case you forget the shortcut. Is you right click, go to arrange, you could say send to back, all the shortcuts, or send backwards. All the shortcuts is just Control open curly brackets. So that one also works too. Then for our text, the rest is just adding our text. I think I don't need to explain addition of text. It's a very straightforward thing. You just type your text normally, typing. So I just brought my text there, and this is just a shape with a text on it. You could also do the same thing. Let's bring that here. And we had duplicate of this guy here. But if you check, there is like an effect, like a fast something like that effect. I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me duplicate this guy and keep here. So I go to the effects here, or you could also come here for the effects, and you go to blur. Then you go to read out blur, and you could see spin and zoom. So the effect I used here, the blur method I used here was zoom, and I increased it to about 10 or 12. 10 to 15 is okay. Then you apply okay, and you can see the effects being applied. In case it's not strong enough, you just ensure it's highlighted and you see it here. So you click on it, then you adjust it to any level you want it to be. So if you notice, you could see all these black lines here, and I don't need them. All you just need to do is select those parts, or you could select the part and just remove the stroke like that. So once you remove the stroke, it automatically take out that part like that for you. Yep. So we have everything in place. Is there anything that is missing, that is here, that is not here? So if you notice, this guy is not too smooth. You could make it to look like that. All you just need to do is that you could select the whole part like that and come to effect. You go to this guy, you go to roughen, and you can adjust it to be like so. Make it smooth, and it must not be too like so. And that's how I did this, and how you can also do that. So I ensure that before 9:30 I have uploaded it. So in case you have any questions, please, the floor is open for anybody to ask questions. I think we only have only 2 people, probably because I told them that the class will be recorded. So please, in case you have any questions, please you can ask your question now while we do other things. So hello, Franklin, can you hear me? Miracle and Rita, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
So
Yes,
I
I can hear you.
okay. So I hope you guys understood what I did there. Is there
I'm trying to, but I think I'll go through the video when you upload it again and see where I have some. This, but sorry, I want to ask which app are you using, or how will I
yeah,
put it,
the
that you're
software?
using to this
Yeah.
presentation? The software,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm using Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, the design software. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I think everybody is like clear, and maybe everybody's just waiting for the recorded class. I will post it as soon. Miracle, you have something? Okay. So I will post the video, make it available on the platform, so that anybody who is interested to watch will be able to watch and go through it again. All right, so you can download it and watch it. And I will zip the file, and I also send it to the group. So anybody who's also interested can open the file on his Adobe Illustrator and also practice with it. So everything will be made available, and yeah. So,
Just have some.
so
Um, I wanted to ask if we have any questions, can we share it with
hello,
you
please,
guys?
can you okay, everybody's mic is on. Franklin, Franklin, I cannot hear you.
Yes, yes, yes. My microphone.
Okay, so you were trying to say something.
Though I didn't join earlier,
Okay,
so but I think I will watch the recording session
okay,
for me to get it.
okay, no problem then. Okay.
I wanted to say something.
Yeah, I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
What I was trying to say is that this graphic designer with me that I'm kind of new to it, so I'm a programmer. So I just wanted to like have some basics of graphics
Okay,
to support.
okay,
All these whole things is now just like new to me, Sha. But is there anywhere like anywhere you can refer me to go and like look it up and like learn from the scratch,
okay.
something like that? Or do you attend to people that how would I put it? Or do you teach people personally or something like that?
Yes, there is. Okay, there are platforms, or I say platforms. There are. If you want, okay, like the one we had. I don't know whether you attended the first class we had.
Yeah, I attended it.
Okay, so that.
The one with
So
the PowerPoint.
yes, yes, yes. So that one was like more of
Yeah,
the introduction phase, like trying to understand the fundamentals, and an introduction to the softwares we use also. So what if you probably want interest in learning the design stuffs, it's open. I also take on people for mentorship and stuff like that. So for mentorship also, it's also open. You can reach out to me in my DM. Then we'll also discuss on probably the time that will suit you and also the one that will work for both of us. So you can be able to learn at your own pace. And if you also want me to, I could also provide you with some of the resources in case you want to just go about and learn on your own. There are people that could.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I really love it.
but okay. So in case you want the resources or you want me to provide you with some of the resources that you can learn by on your own, and like just I'll send you some of the links and some of the sites probably you could visit, and then maybe videos that you could also watch that will give you a very good understanding of what I mean by some of them. Then I could also help you with those ones too. Then I think that's all. That's all about that question. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, and in case I have any other issue, I can reach out,
Yes, you
right?
can. Yeah,
While
you can.
viewing.
You
All
can reach
right,
out. Sure,
thank you.
sure. Okay. So I think there's no question. If there's no question, then probably we'll call it a night. I think we'll communicate to you guys on the group chat on what to do next. Then from there we'll be able to carry on. So thank you guys for staying to the end. Miracle, you have something? Okay.
No, no, I was actually saying no
Okay.
problem.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So as I said, you will reach out to communicate to you guys on what to do next, and that's all. Thank you guys for staying to this time, and have a lovely night.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you.